say. And so at the end of his talk, we asked questions and things. So, but he gave us some pamphlets and things. And a little while after that, I received a copy of the Quran, or the religious book of the Muslims. And it's this that really took me into the religion, and I really studied it from an academic point of view. I didn't, judge this based on any emotions or anything like that. I thought that the religion is here, and the books on which the religion is based upon, that's all it is. It's just books there. And just like I studied things in college, I took that type of approach, and I went directly to the source. I didn't make any judgments based on what the media was saying or what all my friends were saying, my roommates, whoever I lived with. I took the book itself and I read it. And honestly, I couldn't put it down. It was very striking. It was the meanings were very clear and concise. And I really just read it from beginning to the end, from the start to finish, and it just intrigued me so much to continue with it. And it's quite different from what you would expect, from what you would read in the Bible. It's written in the first person, as if it's God's actual words, and it's like it's Him speaking it directly. It's written in that sort of tone, very different from the Bible. And so, like I said, I thought that I developed, I guess it was very personal to me. And I think that this is what really struck me, because I think that if this is a religion which is supposed to be applicable to all of mankind, it's not just, it should be written in such a way that every person should be able to receive some guidance from it. I shouldn't have to, I guess, rely on someone else to break it down to me or anything like that. I should be able to go to this religious book, which is God's Word, and I should be able to receive guidance from it. And so that's what I did, and I read it from beginning to the end. And so in doing so, of course, there are many themes that are in the Quran, and there's just a few of them that I really wanted to touch on that really stood out to me while I was reading. And the first and foremost of which is the fact that it showed that how God is the only thing that should really be worshipped. And many people would say, yes, I know there's only one God and this is the way it is. But in fact, people may believe that there's only one God, but they may worship things other than God, whether it be to bring them closer to God or as some sort of intermediary. But the Quran strictly prohibited this type of thing. It showed us that you can develop this personal relationship with God. You go to Him directly. You ask His help, ask His forgiveness. You don't have to go through any intermediary. And this is something that really stood out to me at that time. Another thing which I thought was really important was of how it dealt with the afterlife, or what happens when you die. And it said it very boldly and bluntly that when you die, you're going to be faced with two alternatives, either heaven or hellfire, And this is something that we all probably may think about, but it's a very serious reality that is coming. And in the Quran, I found that it kind of directed me to want to lead my life here to prepare for this, because this is going to be my ultimate goal, or my ultimate result is to, whether I'm going to go to heaven or hellfire, and I should live my life in such a way to go to paradise or heaven. And another thing, being that I was a biology major in college, that really struck me was some of the science that was in the Quran. I was quite surprised to find that a religious book would touch on such a thing, but the way it describes the development of the embryo and the fetus and the creation of the universe, these things really stood out to me. And at that time, I was just a freshman in college, but I thought it was quite amazing. And now there's a big, research going on in this area of Quranic study about scientific facts. And I'm sure you can find some more information about that. But to come to an end, I believed it. I really just I felt that this was God's word, and there was no way that another human being could have written this type of book, with its word. Even though, of course, the Quran is only in the Arabic language, and I was reading a translation from it, but the meanings were just very clear to me, and I believed it, and I was so excited, at the time. It's funny because I moved away to go to college from my family and everything, so I would call my mother and say, look, this is it. I found it. This is what we've been looking for. The answers to our questions are here. And I would tell my brother the same thing and my friends, and I was very excited about it because I really thought that I had found, the truth, and I believed it, and I'm sure that I did, but my family and my brother, they weren't anywhere as near as excited as I was. In fact, they were almost hostile to me. My mother gave me a really tough time. And to this day, it's still kind of a bit rocky, but this was kind of the excitement that I went to them with, but I was rejected for the most part. But, I was really strengthened by many of the stories of the different prophets in the Quran on how they dealt with trying to give this divine message to the people, and how many of them were rejected, and some were even murdered in this way. So this kind of strengthened me. But I believed it, and it's been almost 5 years now, and it's the best thing that's ever happened in my life. And I've been trying to practice this religion as best I can, and with the single goal of gaining God's pleasure and going to heaven. And I hope that God, when I meet Him, He'll be pleased with me, and that yeah, so that's my story, and I'll be welcoming any questions, I guess, at the end. So, thanks.